back with the contemporary issue, and today contemporary issue will be Israeliyat. So if you want to know more about Israeliyat, stay tuned with us. And basically, we're going to talk about Israeliyat. As you all know, Israeliyat is the narration told by the Jews who is converted to Islam, and the story that they told is contradict with the Quran. So basically, today we're going to ask a few opinions from different persons about Israeliyat and what we can relate it to the contemporary issue nowadays. Okay guys, so let's hear from the expert about this contemporary issue that can relate to the story of Israeliyat.
Okay, I will proceed to the contemporary issue based on Israeliyat. Okay, as we know that Israeliyat is the narration that bring by Jewish and Nasrani to Muslim society. Okay, Israeliyat is when Jewish add some rumor on the story and it spread to Muslim society, and then the Muslim society believe on that story and they made the story as their references. Okay, there are many people that believe that the story Adam and Hawa that they eat fruit is kuldi fruit, but that was Israeliyat because the fruits are unknown. Okay, next I will tell the story about Yusuf and Zulaikha. In the Quran, Zulaikha seduced Yusuf only, but the Israeliyat that Yusuf get married with Zulaikha, and they have two child. That was only Israeliyat. But Muslim believe that Zulaikha and Yusuf are getting married. For example, in wedding card, they always put like Yusuf met us like Yusuf and Zulaikha, but that was wrong because Yusuf and Zulaikha didn't getting married because Zulaikha is the wife of Al-Aziz. Okay, to conclude, my statement is we cannot believe on Israeliyat totally because Israeliyat some Israeliyat is true, which is it is parallel with Quran and Sunnah, but some Israeliyat is contradict with the Quran and Sunnah. And the third one is Israeliyat is we didn't know, is it we need to believe or we do not need to believe. So Israeliyat is something that we cannot believe and we not believe on it, and we cannot put trust it as references.
Okay guys, so we already hear from Sister Norihan about the contemporary issue about Israeliyat. So now we're gonna proceed to the next agenda where we're gonna hear from two experts, Sister Shahira and Sister Farhin, about more about the research that they do on Israeliyat based on book Riwayat Israeliyat, Propaganda Yahudi and Nasrani by Rosmawati Ali, and also a journal titled Israeliyat Tafsir Anwar Baidawi. So let's hear from them.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Today I would like to share with you on the book titled with Riwayat Israeliyat, Propaganda Yahudi dan Nasrani, that written by Dr. Rosmawati Ali. She is the one who write a lot on field of ulum Quran and ulum hadis and other religious book as well. So basically, this book, in my opinion, is very good, discussing on the issue of Israeliyat itself, from the history until the Israeliyat in the contemporary times. So in this book, she described that a lot of Israeliyat element in the Islamic reading material, especially in Malay manuscript. It made me think how far the understanding of Muslim on the topic of Israeliyat itself, because I believe Muslims still cannot distinguish between the story of Israeliyat or the material that contains Israeliyat itself. As far as the book concerned, Israeliyat was influenced in the story of the Prophet from the previous nation, from the secret of nature, and also the Ghoibiats. For example, the story of Luqman al-Hakim. Okay, according to Israeliyat, Luqman al-Hakim was the prophet, and they also add information on the name of his child and the attitude of his child toward his counsel. But actually, it was not stated at all in Al-Quran. Okay, in this book of propaganda of of Jews and Christian, Dr. Rosmawati also give a solution pertaining on the Israeliyat that widely spread in Islam. So the one reason of Israeliyat spread in Islam because it a missionary from Arab and Parsi that come to Malay world and make a story fairy tale about religion before Islam came, such as Jews and also Christian. So as for conclusion, I think this book was recommended if you are interested to know more about Israeliyat. And as far as my concern, we must be careful with the agenda setting of Jews and Christian that intended to destroy Islam. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. So today I'm going to make an article review about Tafsir Anwar Baiduri, which has been used by a very prominent ulama in Indonesia and Malaysia named Sheikh Abdul Rauf bin Ali Al-Fansuri Al-Singkili. But this ulama, Abdul Rauf, used Tafsir Anwar Baiduri as a reference only. But in this research, we are going to know whether Sheikh Abdul Rauf use whether the book of Tafsir has an element of Israeliyat or not. So I'm going to make it short and precise. Basically, in that Tafsir Baiduri, it has a certain element of Israeliyat, and I'm going to concentrate more on story of Balqis and Sulaiman, where in Surah Al-Nam, the Princess Balqis was amazed by the creation of the Nabi Sulaiman's castles, which made by a glass. But in the tafsir, according to Tafsir Al-Baiduri, he said that the jinn said to the Prophet Sulaiman that Balqis' leg looks like a donkey, and Nabi Sulaiman hate it. So in that sentence, it shows that there is none of the another tafsir like Tafsir Syed Qutb, Tafsir Al-Qutubi mention about that Nabi Sulaiman hate Princess Balqis' leg. The tafsir of Sheikh Baiduri was used by Abdul Rauf Singkili has an Israeliyat element in his kitab, and most of the Malay people and Indonesian people are using his book, and that's and the story spread, and people started to believe that actually Nabi Sulaiman don't like at the Princess Balqis' leg. According to another tafsir, the surah only stress about the amazement of Princess Balqis about the castle which made by Nabi Sulaiman, which made by glass, and to open up Balqis' eyes that there was a greater kingdom than her, and then she embraces Islam. Hence, we have to be careful about what we read after this, even in the tafsir, because we have to have a deeper knowledge about Israeliyat and also about the ancient stories before. Because Israeliyat, it has three different division, whether it's contradict to Quran, whether it's parallel to Quran, or whether it's not even can be used in the Quran. Yeah, so that's all from me. Thank you.
So guys, we already hear the opinion given by the student and also the expert about this particular issue. So what we basically achieve is that we cannot believe 100% on Israeliyat because there are some stories that are contradict with the Quran. So if you have confusion about this issue, you need to refer to the expert or to the ustad or ustazah that is know more about this Israeliyat. So after you have already ask them about this issue, and if they say we can believe it, then we can believe it. But then we need to also see if whether it is contradict with the Quran or not. But all I want to say is that in everything we do, in everything we confuse of, we need to always back to Quran and Sunnah, because Quran and Sunnah is the best reference given to us, mankind, by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, so that we can always, if there any confusion, we can always go back to Quran. So in the Quran also say that Quran will be preserved until the last day of judgment. So if you have any confusion in head, in your mind or anything, just go back to Quran and Sunnah instead of like want to believe in other stories, in other references, especially the Israelite. So why don't we just believe in Quran and Sunnah and follow it? Okay, guys, that's all from me. Thank you.